Did you know that when we feel rejected or left out, it lights up the same part of our brain as if we were kicked in the stomach? It's the physical pain center that lights up and is activated when we perceive ourselves as being left out. It's not as just the matter of just be strong, be brave, be confident. It's literally painful to our bodies because we're wired to feel connected. We know that we're safest when we belong, when we have support, when we are networked and tied in with each other. And so if we perceive that we are somehow left out of something, it doesn't matter how healthy we are, what kind of personality we have, we're going to feel threatened. We're going to feel pain. We're going to feel a little bit of a lack of safety. And so one of the most important things is that when we do have a best friend at work, it becomes even more crucial for us to do everything we can to help make sure other people don't feel rejected by us. Feeling the fear of favoritism at work is one of the greatest fears. And so we want to protect against that. We want to do it for the sake of our friendship and for the sake of our team and for our jobs. And so when we do have somebody that we feel closer to at work, it becomes more imperative than ever that the two of us make sure that our relationship is as inclusive as possible. And I'm doing a series right now on the 8 commandments, principles, things that I think are the most important things that we, when we're best friends, need to be paying attention to in our workplaces for our sake and for the organization's sake. Both benefit from us having a healthy friendship. And so in this one, I want to say one of the most important things we can do as friends is to express appreciation for everybody else around us. We need to up our game. We need to be the people that when they feel like they might feel left out, there's going to be moments, right? They're going to see us talking. They're going to know we're close. They're going to worry. They're going to fear. They're going to wonder if they're being left out, if they're being overlooked, especially if one of us is a manager or in some kind of a position of influence. And so it's going to happen. It's just natural. And so the number one thing we can do to protect our friendship and to protect the workplace is to both choose to be people that up our game of expressing our appreciation of others. This is a really big deal. In a typical friendship outside of the workplace, positivity, expressing appreciation is so key. We usually talk about doing it to each other. So important. I want you to do that with your best friend at work too. But in the workplace, we also need to turn that outside of ourselves, outside of the friendship. We need to both be people who don't leave room for doubt in other people's minds where they go, does she like me? Is he good with me? Are we okay? Is he leaving me out? We want to be known for people that are saying the words that can offset their normal fears. And so we just need to express it more and not let it be assumed. We need to say, thank you so much for doing that. I so appreciate da-da-da-da-da-da. I'm so glad you were able to join us because da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You make such a good contribution in that meeting because of da-da-da-da-da-da. We want to be people, both of us in this friendship, who are purposefully, intentionally expressing our appreciation, our affirmation, our gratitude of the people around us. Especially, as I was mentioning earlier, if we are friends with the manager needs to be doing that because the people's greatest fear is, what if that manager is just focusing on their friend? The research actually shows they don't do that, but that's our fear, is that we'll be overlooked. And so as a manager, the most important thing you can do is point out what you're seeing among everybody else. It's okay for you to have a close friend. It's okay for you to be cared for and connected and seen. And we want to make sure everyone else on your team knows that you see them. And if you are the friend of the manager, an unhealthy friend would be trying to make sure everybody else knows you're friends with the manager, or your risk would be to be talking bad about everybody else to the manager or whatever. That's unhealthy. A healthy person who wants to protect the friendship, which also means protecting the manager, helping that manager look good, helping make sure that nobody on that team is worried that the manager doesn't see all of their best things. To be able to be the person who says, I was just telling so-and-so, the manager, about how I saw you do this and I love that. I was just telling the manager about how much you added to this team project. I love that you're doing this. Everything that we can say or do that gives the explicit and implicit impression to everybody else that we appreciate everybody else. Just because we're friends doesn't mean we go blind. Just because we're friends doesn't mean we don't see and value everybody else. Absolutely not. But they're going to be fearful that that's what happens. So our invitation is to do everything we can to give the words that help offset that. So that's a good question for the two of you. It's a great conversation as best friends to have. Do people around you feel like you appreciate them? Do people around you feel seen by you? If you're friends with the manager or are the manager, do the people around you feel confident? If I were to come in and ask everybody else, are you confident that she says positive things about you to her friend? Are you positive that he tells his friend this and speaks highly of you? And hopefully, if I were to interview everybody around you, they would say, yes, I know they're close, but I know they speak highly of all of us. I know they value all of us. I know that they appreciate what we all bring. That's the goal. It's not your job to make everybody else not feel insecure. You can have friends. Everyone's going to have their moments, and that's not your job to cater to, but it is your responsibility to make sure that you are putting positive emotions out around you, that you are making sure that people know that they are appreciated, that just because they may not be your best friend, that doesn't mean you don't not see them. You still see them, and you appreciate so much what they bring. Let's be best friends who help express appreciation for everybody else outside of our friendship as well.